Oh, hello. PushingUpRoses here, and don't mind me, I'm just putting on my face. Say, have you heard any good jokes lately? No, me neither. Although the last one did have me in stitches. Today we're looking at Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland, an adventure FMV game starring a very handsome Jeff Goldblum. Now that's chaos theory. Developed and published by DreamWorks Interactive, Escape from Horrorland is not meant to directly follow the Goosebumps book, One Day at Horrorland, but rather serve as a sequel. Even though I do enjoy the nostalgia of the Goosebumps franchise, I was not looking forward to this game. I fully expected it to be a trash fire. Live-acted games from the 90s are always a crapshoot, and licensed games in general don't have a great track record, but after playing this I can honestly say it was pretty damn fun. Zany, campy, straightforward, that wasn't bad at all. It's not exactly a steak dinner, but it's at least a really well done Whopper from Burger King. We start up the game and meet Lizzie, who believes her house is being taken over by some kind of dangerous paranormal activity. Are we on the ground or something? Why is she hovering over us? She tells us that her brother Luke and his friend Clay are stuck in the house, so we follow her to see what the deal is, and it's looking pretty normal.
What? Don't you believe me? I was positive this house was going nuts!
Oh wow, this acting is amazing! I was positive that was going nuts. Suddenly, the house sucks Lizzie in through the door. Yes, come right on in. Not your bike though. Blech. We both get tossed into a weird, cloud-like portal, then thrown right into Horrorland, every creepy goth child's dream come true. The first thing you'll notice is the fisheye lens effect when you navigate the screens. It seems like a very clever idea in theory, but in execution, it's not great. It made me feel slightly disoriented at times, and it just looks kinda wonky. We hear some yelling and find Luke and Clay stuck in the stocks, so our first order of business is to get them out. Not that I want to, mind you. Like most adolescents, they are terribly annoying.
We're not telling you anything till you let us free. Come on, Lizzie, find a key, a hacksaw, a crowbar! Whatever! Just get us out of here!
Similar to how I approach other adventure games, my first instinct was to look around and get a feel for my surroundings. If you're not sure where you are, you can check the directories around each area. They provide a little sequence that features an eccentric woman who gives you some information about Horrorland, and other random, unhelpful tidbits.
Did you know that werewolf, spelled backwards, is... Well, now you do!
She comes across as a creepy version of an infomercial host.
Stick your neck out at Guillotine Plaza! Oh, yeah, right, Marie Antoinette!
This woman is an icon.
Oh!
Since you can do a lot of things out of order, the first thing I decided to do was visit the Bat Barn. Seemed like a fun spot. On my way, I encountered a scarecrow. Sir? 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 Sir. He won't talk to me until I solve this puzzle, clicking these insufferable pumpkins until they say The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, the title of one of the Goosebumps books.
Crow, that scarecrow night. That walks, scarecrow night.
This was not fun, but I was looking forward to seeing the Scarecrow come to life because I thought that was one of the scariest books and episodes from the series.
I walk once more to open the door.
What? That's not scary. That's not anything. Scarecrows don't wear stripy trousers. And the makeup is about on par with the Wizard of Oz. I kinda just want to cuddle him up and tell him he's not a failure of a scarecrow or something. Just keep trying, buddy. Maybe the Bat Barn will be scarier. Welp, it's not, but at least I feel at home with my little bat friends. What's this, a trash can in the Bat Barn? Oh no. No, it can't be. They wouldn't. It's a 3D maze. Right, so these mazes are scattered around Horrorland, and thank fucking God they're not mandatory. You can go around them if you need coins, which are used for the hint system. So far, the thought of navigating yet another ridiculous, ugly 3D maze has been the scariest part of this game. I went back to see what the pumpkins were up to, and after you complete that scarecrow puzzle, they have nothing better to do than attempting very odd celebrity voice impressions.
The scarecrow walks at midnight.
The scarecrow walks at midnight, and he will kill you. You will die.
The scarecrow walks at midnight, Mr. Carter. I swear, he is absolutely scary. It's unbelievable.
It's It's so funny, like, oh my god. By the time I got back to the stocks to check on the boys, the entire village was ablaze. Lizzie dramatically flings herself into the fire, and I briefly thought, well, I must have lost. But I managed to turn the water on and everyone was fine. Sort of. I mean, Lizzie was thrown in a freezer at some point, and Luke was wrapped up and put in a sarcophagus, and Clay was thrown on a platter like a head of cabbage, but other than that, they were all fine. This is fine.
You will die.
As you can see, we're not exactly following a story, which is not typical for adventure games. There's a reason we're in Horrorland, but after playing a few minutes of the game, I realized it was going to be interaction heavy. There's a lot of things to see and click on, some more interesting than others. And your objective is to save your parents. Pretty standard stuff for Goosebumps. What did impress me was how well the live-acted sequences were. Historically, actors in video games have been very, very extra. I can only think of greatly exaggerated scenes from Phantasmagoria, or the exact opposite, subdued, forgettable performances by actors with no ambition towards acting. Mostly I equate FMV actors with extreme cheese, even if they have to portray a serious role. But for Goosebumps, it works perfectly. Chewing the scenery, characters with no chill, really weird camera transitions and cuts, that's exactly what I want in my Goosebumps game. Even these weird effects are pretty interesting. I know it's fake, I can tell it's fake, but it works because this entire game is campy and surreal as fuck. I'm sure it'd be even more effective to a kid. Something I find really interesting about Goosebumps in general is that I always thought the books by R.L. Stine were scarier than any visual medium they've been adapted to. The episodic series and games are so much cornier, relying on goofy humor and dreamlike moments. It's similar to what happens when Stephen King books are adapted. When we read them, we don't notice how corny they are, and how unscary some of these paranormal elements would be if they existed in real life. So instead of trying to make it realistically frightening, some things are altered to have a bit of humor, or it just leans into the cheese completely. It's not a bad thing, just something I've noticed about R.L. Stine's content in general. Even though we're not exactly following a story, there are still things I need to do, such as stealing a steak from an innocent group of ants, cutting a mob's head off by using a guillotine, and meeting the creator of the park, Madison Storm. You see, he was kinda lonely, so he built a machine that would attract monsters, then he would never be lonely again. This looks like a prototype for that Mousetrap board game. I know what you're thinking. Why doesn't he just hit up a bar or a social club like a normal person?
Who stole all my chocolates? Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's clearly not gonna happen for him. These monsters are kind of all he has. It must be difficult having a name with anagrams such as Damn Riot Moss and Raid Mom Snot. On our adventure, we also meet a kind-hearted monster named Stump. Stump is a cute name. Next bird I adopt will be named Stump.
Shouldn't be helping. Can't help it. Don't tell.
He seems eager to help you, perhaps a little too eager, and gives you some hints about what you should be doing. The hardest part about this game is keeping tabs on these kids. They're always wandering around, getting themselves into trouble. In the beginning of the game, I was with Lizzie, but after I rescued Luke from a mummy, he joins us.
Hey,
Check out my freckles. Apparently, when I wasn't looking, Lizzie turned herself into Smeagol.
I am not having a very good time here.
God damn, this is weird. Ooh, books. Maybe there's some clues about what I need to do next. Tall Tales, huh? Oh, it's a book with animals that have long tails. I opened the Book of Love out of curiosity and it hurt me. Typical. And now for my most anticipated section of the game, Vampire Village, where we finally get to meet Jeff Goldblum as Count Dracula. Fun fact, did you know the Count sleeps on a Murphy bed? So I'm not sure what I was expecting, but Jeff Goldblum is just Jeff Goldblum. Slightly awkward, but even more so because he's having a difficult time talking with the fangs.
My beauty. Don't hide your eyes. Lizzie Morris.
This is a very lethargic Count Dracula. Good dancer, though. Despite that, I found this section very charming. There's a short part where Lizzie dances with the Count, and it's very Disney's Haunted Mansion, with all of the vampires rising up to join. It's too bad about Goldblum's lack of energy. Even when he's being zapped with a magic ring, he's still just saying things like, "Oh no, don't." After we escape the mildly loose clutches of the Count, we finally find our parents. It's not looking great for them, but everyone else seems jazzed about their eventual demise, similar to One Day at Horrorland, where the parents are put on a deadly TV show to entertain the monsters. There's even a little GoPro creature up there. Aww. I don't think anyone knew how to wrap up this game regarding how to save the parents. It seems like there should be a puzzle leading up to their rescue, but there's just nothing. Somehow, Clay ends up in this tower without any explanation.
Don't ask me how, you guys, but I did it. I found this cosmic monster attractor and reverse polarity switches.
What? What do you mean, don't ask me how I did it? How? Why? What? This is a hefty plot jump. As far as I know, Clay didn't even know what the monster attractor machine looked like, and suddenly he just finds it in this massive tower? Sure, Jan. How did you even get up there? So he reverses the effect of the machine and everyone splits. Except for Stump. Good old kind-hearted... What? Stump was Seth Green the whole time? Also, does this remind you of a Dead or Alive video? Without much elaboration, the park self-destructs. Aren't the parents still back there? Hope they made it out alive. In classic Goosebumps form, the game throws a vague ending at our player. When you escape from Horrorland and are back safe and sound with your parents, who apparently escaped at some point, you are greeted by your new neighbor, Maddie.
Maddie?
Hi, Jeff! Have we met?
If you don't save your parents, you get an even better ending where they have been transformed into monsters. Oh, Goosebumps, you and your slight twist endings. Beyond the two different endings, I don't think you can actually die in this game. You can get hurt, a lot, but all it really did was take away the coins you can use for hints. Even when I was getting my ass kicked by a bunch of bats, I still didn't die. Despite that, I wish there were more than 6 save slots. I'm very particular about my save slots. I actually had a lot of fun with this game. There's a lot to do, it's full of Goosebumps books references, and the acting is... you know, it's intriguing. I'm not gonna say it's good, but it's entertaining. I also really like these settings, even if the fisheye lens thing is a little bizarre. The entirety of Horrorland was very easy to navigate, and some of the sections looked how I envisioned them in their books. I was pleasantly surprised by how manageable the puzzles were. They're a combo of inventory object and logical, and they're very fair, sometimes enjoyable. This is a good licensed FMV game, holy shit! I didn't even think that was possible. I figured the best thing about this game would be smoking hot vampire Jeff Goldblum, but he was one of the weaker parts. Don't get me wrong, I'd smash that, but he didn't add much to the excitement. Interestingly, the game has an amazing cast. On top of Jeff Goldblum, we have Isabella Rossellini, Eric Lloyd, and Adam Wiley. It's not very long if you know what you're doing, but if you take the time to look around, appreciate the... you know, whatever all this useless crap is, then I think you're going to like it. Goosebumps, Escape from Horrorland. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Like a whopper. Wow, wasn't that exciting? I just adore happy endings. Say, you're looking like you could use a bit of work. If you come closer, I can patch you up myself. No? Alright. Suit yourself. Happy Halloween, my darklings. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video on Escape from Horrorland. I'd love to show you more videos, but first, Patreon. Yeah, you know, the thing I talk about after every video. If you like my work and want to support my show, please consider throwing a few bucks at me. Don't literally throw it, but, you know, actually, I don't mind. Throw it at me. If you are interested in more Goosebumps content, I linked a few on the screen. On the left, we have a video about Plant Dad, and on the right, we have an episode about magic prunes. If you liked this video, consider sharing it with whoever, and if you just can't get enough of me, my social media info is in the description. As always, see you in the next one.